Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It is time for another exciting edition of the show with no name. So hold on to your hats, because it's time for liftoff.
10,
Let's
9,
go.
8,
7, 6,
6,
come on.
5,
4, 3, 2,
2, 1,
here we go.
0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Come on.
Liftoff. 30 minutes.
So much to do, so little time. A day late, a buck short.
Get ready. Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Bond Radio. It's the show with no name.
Get up. Let's go. Welcome, 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 show with no namers. Thank you for joining us for another exciting edition of the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. I trust you guys are warmed up. Fijaos donde pongo la D, con el up. I trust you're warmed up thanks to my buddy Fitz and his master class, No Excuses. Don't miss it. Fitz is the guy who trained me and Kyle and many other teachers that you learn from every day. If it weren't for Fitz, I don't think any of us would be here. Honestly, Fitz hired me. Me contrató él. He was the one who said, I like this guy. We're going to hire him. So I will be forever grateful to my buddy Fitz. And even though he was serious in the interview, we always laugh about this now. The only thing I could think of is, well, that went well. Eso ha ido bien. And the other thing I thought, this guy must be cool to have a beer with. I'd love to have a beer with this guy sometime. And well, hundreds of beers later, Fitz is not only the reason I'm here at Vaughn, but he's also an amazing friend. My daughter loves him. Every day. What about Fitz? When is Fitz coming over? Is Fitz coming? I swear to God, she's obsessed with Fitz. And I've got some funny friends. Rob Grams, Kyle Miller. He's a character. But she is obsessed. She loves Fitz. And so do we. All right, folks, you can catch Fitz every day right before this show on his masterclass, No Excuses. And if you can't catch it live, as you know, you can listen to all of these programs on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, iVox, Apple Podcasts. You can even have access to them on the Vaughn Radio app. So make sure you listen. Hey, the more you listen, the better your English comprehension is going to be. And we all know the more you speak while you listen, the more you vocalize, the better your speaking is going to be as well. And speaking of speaking, let's see who's going to speak to us in today's Say What soundbite. Say what? What? Yes, it is the Say What soundbite here on the show with no name. This is where you'll hear every accent under the sun. I mean, we've looked at Australia, New Zealand, Northern England, which is very different than the south of England. And just think, in London alone, there are probably like 5 or 6 different accents. Eastern London, posh British. You know, right. That's hey, they're all like when somebody says, "I love the London accent." I'm like, "Yeah, which one?" Because it's not like New York. In New York, there's definitely one accent. Well, then you got the foreigners. Oh, thank you very much, my friend. So yeah, you will get a lot of accents, but I mean the real New York accent. You want a cup of coffee? You want to have a talk? Let's have a talk and some coffee. That's New York. Your sister. Talk to your sister. Talk to your brother. And we might be just joking around here, but are we? Is imitation an important thing when learning a language? It's everything. What do you think my daughter's doing when she hears me say a sentence? She imitates it exactly how she hears it. So the better you are at doing impressions, careful with that one. To do an impression es imitar. To make an impression es causar una impresión. Changes. But you can always say to imitate someone. The better you are at that, the more trained your ear is, and the closer you can duplicate something to the way it sounds, the better you're going to be at language learning. It's that simple. It's got that musical element that we can't take out of it. And speaking of speaking again, it's your turn, folks. Every week on our question of the week, I give you the mic. And I give you an opportunity to express yourself verbally, vocally, in English. And this week's question of the week, here it is. What is a popular food ingredient, a spice, or herb? It can be a spice, an herb, a sauce. You know my answer, mayonnaise, mayo. Everybody fucking loves mayo, it seems. Or garlic mayo, el alioli. And I can't stand this shit. I feel like if you have a nice fideuà or paella, why the hell would you put some sauce on it? I just don't get it. You have a good hamburger there. Don't you want to taste the sauce, not some mushy mayo? Ew, mayo. Well, there's my answer, mayo. Everybody loves that shit. And in the United States, they even put it on sandwiches when you don't order it. Just imagine that with another ingredient. You know, I order a BLT, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. And on the menu, it says bacon, lettuce, and tomato. You know, romaine lettuce, blah, blah, blah. And then I get it. It gets to the table and there's mayonnaise. Not a little bit. It's just caked in mayo. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And the waiter says, oh, yeah, it comes with mayo. I'm like, then why isn't it on the menu? Like, and a lot of times I just tell them because I'm sick of arguing. I'm allergic to eggs. Punto. And this is fake mayo. I don't care. I'm not going to take any chances. Can you take this back? It didn't say mayo. Because if it says mayo, then I can say a very simple sentence. Hold the mayo. Hold the mayo. Sin mayonesa. Okay? So, but that's an ingredient. It feels like they kind of force you to have it. Like, here's the mayo. Yeah, a little surprise. And it happens a little bit. I think the Spanish mayo is alioli. People just assume you like it. And you're like, no, I don't like it. I hate that mushy texture. So I'm sure you can come up with some food ingredient, spice, or herb. And speaking of the word herb, just be careful. The British people say herb. What's your favorite herb? I like oregano. You know what we call it? Oregano. Well, I like basil. You know what we call it? Basil. So yeah, basil. We can't agree on anything over here. So whatever it may be, remember, all you have to do is you send a 1-minute voice note and you can send it over to alonso@grupovon.com. Keep it at around a minute and tell us a popular food ingredient that most people like that you can't stand or you dislike it for some reason. And this is going to be really interesting because we'll take a look at textures. Mira, te acabo de decir mushy, right? Mushy. Te lo hago con un sonido. A ver cómo lo traducen. Mushy, right? Mushy means like blando, pastoso. Ugh, I hate that texture. In fact, there are many times where I've bitten into a sandwich and then I noticed that there was mayonnaise on it and I spit it out. Yeah, that's how much, because people say, Alberto, you love eggs. You love oil. Well, that's mayonnaise. I go, yeah, but the texture is completely different. So some people are very texture driven. My daughter is too. And believe me, it is definitely hereditary because I have tried not to put my problems into her. You know, in fact, when my wife's like, oh, do you want some onions? Oh, I'm okay right now. When really I'm thinking, I fucking hate onions. And I don't hate onions. Again, I love onion soup. Why? Because I don't have the texture of the onions. So a lot of times when my wife cooks with onions, she liquefies it. So you got the taste of the onion. You've got all the benefits because onion, I mean, that's a great food for you. It's one of those foods that is, I think, antioxidant. You know, it's one of those foods that cleans out your system. And in Spain, you can't say, I don't like peppers and onions. Well, guess what? I don't like peppers and onions. I do like the flavor of peppers and onions. So I'm a very, very big texture-oriented person. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What is that one ingredient that everybody seems to love and you just hate it? And it doesn't, maybe it can be chai tea. You know, it doesn't have to be food. It can be maybe a drink too. This way, well, you've got more options. And remember, the most important part is explain yourself. Explain your answer. Why don't, like I just did. Do I dislike the taste of mayo? Not really. I don't think it tastes, you know, too bad when I have tried it, but I just can't deal with that mushy, slimy texture. It's just gross to me. In my mouth, I instantly have that gag reflex. Do you know what this is? A gag reflex. Arcadas, you say? I think, like when I taste it, I want to throw up. A gag reflex. Arcada. Hey, look at that. It's that involuntary, oh God, I feel like I'm going to puke. I feel like I'm going to throw up. So if you'd like to participate, and I urge you to, if you want to improve your speaking, send it to me before this Thursday. Tell us your food ingredient that you dislike the most that everybody else seems to love. All right. And you can send it to my email address. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, aalonso@grupovon.com. All right. Let me give you guys today's Say What soundbite, and then we can discuss it afterwards. Remember, you're going to hear this a total of 4 times. That means you're going to have 4 chances to jot it all down. Initially, just tell me your take, what you heard in your own words. Here we go.
It's mixed emotions, and at the moment, relief that I got through the show is the biggest thing I feel. And such, I suppose I ought to feel humble, but it isn't humble. Surprised and pleased that people were so generous.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip. Es un verbo.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it.
That's right, folks. You can pick up your copy, tu ejemplar, of This Book is the Shit at Von Tienda. You can stop by the website, vontienda.com, or please feel free to stop by in person in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. Plus, we've got some new centers in Madrid that I'm going to tell you about after. But right now, it's time for our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Come on, sing it with me. Pop quiz. Let's warm up those vocal cords. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. Now, today's pop quiz isn't coming from This Book is the Shit, my latest book. This one is coming from what's a very special book to me, the first book I ever did, English Everywhere. English en cualquier parte. And you can pick it up at vontienda.com. You've got the pocket version with downloadable audio. And folks, I couldn't think of a more complete material. And the reason I'm not just saying that because I wrote it, but you have got 40 different chapters, 40 different places where we learn English. And I don't just, it's not like a guidebook. Estas 5 frases. Sí, tienen las frases que vas a necesitar, but it's also sprinkled, esparciado, rociado. It's also sprinkled with false friends, pronunciation things, common mistakes, little tricks, little hacks that can help you use the language and understand it better as well. And you've got chapters such as sightseeing, at the restaurant, at a concert, sports, animals, the body. We're going to be taking a look at that today, the human body, which aside from the human body, well, we've also got a lot of idiomatic expressions that use head, nose, ear, right? So don't forget, not just the literal sense, your major organs, muy bien, pero to know something by heart es tenerlo a memoria, right? To have a heart-to-heart is tener una conversación profunda, right? We need to have a heart-to-heart. To wear your heart on your sleeve, it means you don't hide your emotions. So that's just 3 that off the top of my head, toma, otra con una parte del cuerpo, off the top of my head, a bote pronto, sin pensarlo más. So let's listen to a little excerpt from my first book, English Everywhere. It's available at vontienda.com. And today we're going to take a look at the human body, something we all have. English Everywhere. All right, everybody has a body.
Yeah.
Todo el mundo tiene cuerpo. Everybody has, porque sabemos que everybody es tercer persona. ¿Podemos decir all the people?
No, everybody.
Muy bien. No podemos decir all the people. Everybody has a body. Todo el mundo tiene un cuerpo. Everybody has a body. All right, well, I'm here with Patricia. And Patricia, you've got a body too.
Yeah.
We've all got bodies, don't we? All right, well, Patricia, welcome. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
All right. Now, you've participated in several chapters in the book.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, are you learning a lot with English Everywhere?
Yeah, I'm learning too much.
Too much is
Too many.
demasiado.
Too many. Too
Too many?
much.
No, pero ¿cómo
Mucho,
demasiado?
very,
Ok.
very.
Un día tenemos que tener una clase solo en el too much, el too
Sí.
many y el very.
Tengo un
So, too much
problema.
es como que te has pasado, que has aprendido demasiado
Sí.
para tu gusto.
Uf, muchísimo.
So,
Sí.
too much? No, I've learned a lot. Tú
Sí.
quédate con a lot,
A
tía.
lot, okay.
I've learned a lot so far.
Yeah.
So, there it is. There it is. Okay, well, the body. We've all got a body.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, how well do you know your body? In Spanish, I'm sure you know it.
Qué bien. ¿Cómo te
Conoces
conoces a
tu
ti
cuerpo en
mismo?
español.
Ah.
Puedes identificar todas las partes, las uñas, todo, everything.
Ajá.
¿En inglés lo podrías hacer?
Bueno, a ver,
O sea, que no.
quizás sí.
Es difícil. Bueno, también tenemos términos muy médicos, ¿sabes? Porque,
Ujú.
por ejemplo, la mandíbula en inglés es
Chin.
jaw.
Chin es...
Chin es la barbilla.
Sí.
¿Ves?
Ok.
Quería
Y
soltarla.
casi.
So, jaw es mandíbula. Pero también
Ajá.
se puede decir mandíbula. Pero
Mandíbula.
nadie, los médicos dirían, you have a problem in your mandibula. Pero en conversación normal no usamos un término médico, decimos jaw,
Yo.
como el tiburón, jaws, right? Jaws, el tiburón este. Okay, so, all right, well, I want to take a look at the human body. Yeah, that's right. This mystery machine that keeps going every day, and well, all we have to do is give it food and water. Y lo demás, y cuidarnos un poquito, y ahí vamos tirando. Okay, pues la primera lo tienes ya, mandíbula.
Jaw.
Muy bien. Labios.
Lips.
Yeah, muy bien. Lips. Nariz.
Nose.
Nose. Muy bien. La frente. No es front.
No, no es frente. No sé.
Frente es forehead.
Forehead.
Forehead. Es como cabeza, como before, pero sin la
Ujú.
B. Forehead. De hecho,
Forehead.
el antebrazo es forearm.
Ujú.
Forehead, forearm.
Ok.
Ok. 4, 5, 6. Pero no ese four, es fore.
Ok.
Fore. Ok. Forehead. Ok. Manos. Esta es fácil.
Hands.
Hands. Muy bien la pronunciación. Brazos.
Arms.
Arms. Muy bien. Antebrazo.
Front arm.
Forearm. Te lo acabo de
Forearm.
decir hace 3 segundos,
¡Ih!
tía.
Memoria pez.
Pay attention. Pay attention. Nudillos.
Knuckles. o
Muy bien. Knuckles. Muy bien. Dedos de la mano.
Fingers.
Dedos del pie.
Toes.
Muy bien, porque son diferentes. No hay una canción que decían los niños head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Sí.
Rodillas, head, shoulders, knees and toes. ¿Queréis? Practícalo en casa con tus hijos. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. De hecho, Head and Shoulders sabemos que es un champú anticaspa.
Es verdad.
H es
HS.
Head and Shoulders. Y Head and Shoulders significa más encima de todos los demás.
¿Mm?
Y es Head and Shoulders above the rest. O sea, tiene el
Más,
doble
más.
sentido ahí.
Ujú.
¿Ok? Head. No decimos head. He oído muchas pronunciaciones. La pronunciación es J-E-D. Head.
Head.
Head. Head.
Ok.
Ok. Toes. Oye, en español la gente tiene 20 dedos. Nosotros tenemos 10 cada. Right? 10 y 10. Ok.
Ok.
Rodillas.
Knees.
Knees. Do you like the sandwiches at knees? Muy malo. Ok, lengua.
Tongue.
Tongue. Muy bien.
Tongue.
¿Un trabalenguas?
Ay, lo sabía.
A
No lo sé.
tongue twister.
Tongue twister.
Es literalmente un twist, es retorcer. A
Ya.
tongue twister.
Ujú.
A tongue twister. Ok, cintura.
Waist.
Waist, qué crack. Bueno, pero veo que control. Más que el parque temático.
Sí.
¿Cómo se
Bastante
decía tío vivo?
Mm,
¿Pensabas que ya no tenemos?
round.
Merry go round.
Merry go round. No sé,
Merry
no me
go
lo voy a
round.
aprender nunca, ¿ok?
Pero no pienses así, porque si
Ya.
piensas así nunca lo vas a aprender. Entonces, tienes que asociarlo. Merry go round. Merry go round.
Merry go round.
Ok. All right, vamos a mirar más. Algunos que no tengo aquí.
Caderas.
Mofletes. Ok, caderas.
Caderas
Ya que
es hips.
Hips
Hips don't lie.
No, Shakira nos cuenta esa.
Ok.
Mofletes.
Mofletes, cheek o shin.
Cheeks.
Cheeks.
De hecho, los del culete también se
Ajá.
llaman cheeks.
Cheeks.
O sea, your cheeks. You have 2
Ok.
cheeks. Tenemos 2 cheeks en inglés, ¿ok?
Ok.
All right, más cositas. Bueno, diente hemos mirado en otro. Vamos a mirar una más difícil aquí. Okay, this
A ver,
one's tough. This one's a
dígame.
tough one, ¿ok? Codo.
Elbow.
Elbow, muy bien. Vaya, crack. Cuello.
Neck.
You're on fire. You're on fire over here. Ok, cejas, toma.
Eyebrows.
What? Pero hemos encontrado tu fuerte aquí en inglés, el cuerpo. ¡Wow! All right, there you go, folks. As you can tell, the audio is fun. You know me, and there are hours and hours of audio in English everywhere. So, what do I want for you for today's pop quiz? Today, we've got free range. I want you to give me 3 idiomatic expressions that you know using body parts. So you can use internal organs, as we just said, the heart. Remember elbow? We looked at this last week to put some elbow grease into it. Un poco de dale caña, dale fuerte. So 3 idiomatic expressions that have to do with the body. We'll take a look at those and much more when we come back from this quick commercial break. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with no name. I see we've got a lot of people participating here. It's great to read all of your names. And we'll check in with everybody in a little bit. Remember, for today's pop quiz, I want 3 idiomatic expressions that have to do with the body. And if you noticed, I gave you 3 without even thinking about it, off the top of my head. ¿Ves? Head. Ahí está. Remember the word noggin? A mi hija le encanta esa palabra. Noggin. Coco. Man, use your noggin. You know where she learned that? SpongeBob SquarePants. Swear to God. Un día me viene, Papi, what is noggin? I'm like, noggin means head. All right, folks. In this part of the show, we'll listen to our Say What soundbite for the second time. We'll check your pop quiz answers. We've also got our news report, plus some awesome news. Guess what? Vaughn TV is back. You can find us on Lowy TV and Vodafone. So if you are a Vodafone subscriber, you can find us. Vaughn TV, check it out. I've got a show on Vaughn TV called The Show with No Name TV. A lot of times in the summer, when I'm not doing this show, I'm recording that. And it's basically The Show with No Name adapted to TV. Check it out. Also, guys, our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. It's right around the corner now. October 7th, 2025 at 8 p.m. It's at the Toast Tap Room, Calle de San Vicente Ferrer, 33. Bueno, en inglés el número primero. 33 San Vicente Ferrer Street. Also, we've got a new center in Pozuelo. I used to call it Pozuelo de Alcorcón, and my wife said, no, that's a different town. Now I know it's Pozuelo de Alarcón. And you know how I associated it? Isco. You know the footballer, Isco Alarcón? Well, then I was like, okay, Isco Alarcón, Pozuelo de Alarcón. Okay, I got it. But for years, o sea, yo llevo 20 años más en Madrid, y yo, Pozuelo de Alcorcón. And I'm sure I confused quite a few people along the way. But hey, that's how we learn, by putting our foot in our mouths. Toma, otra expresión con el cuerpo. All right, my amigos, let's listen to our Say What soundbite. We're going to give it another listen here. This is the second listen. So everybody pay attention and we'll see what you can extract from it.
It's mixed emotions, and at the moment, relief that I got through the show is the biggest thing I feel. And such, I suppose I ought to feel humble, but it isn't humble. Surprised and pleased that people were so generous.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right, folks. This book is the shit, my 5th book. It's available at vaughantienda.com. If you'd like, you can pick it up at vaughantienda.com or any place, Amazon, Casa del Libro. But also, if you'd like to stop by, remember we have branches, sucursales, in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, Zaragoza, Las Tablas, and Pozuelo de Alarcón. Did you think I was going to say Alcorcón? No, not anymore. You live and learn. You live and learn es vamos corrigiendo esas cositas que antes nos confundían. All right, we're going to take a look at all of your answers in a moment. Lots of people participating. Great to see you all so eager. Con muchísimas ganas. It's excellent. As I said, you guys are probably some of the most driven students I've ever come across. And I have had thousands. When I say thousands, and I'm not talking about on the radio, I'm talking about in person, I have taught thousands of people from every walk of life. And you guys are the cream of the crop. You are head and shoulders above the rest, para usar la expresión que vimos in English everywhere. All right, let's warm up with a couple translations here about the human body. Y mira, lo primero, ¿es body or body? Piensa que esa O realmente es una A. Body, right? And you know the song, I ain't got nobody, nobody cares for me. I'm so sad and lonely. And wow, Great tune, but it's not time for Name That Lyric. All right, here we go. Tengo agujetas. You don't have to put these in the comments. I prefer you say them aloud. Tengo agujetas. I'm sore. Or I have sore muscles. Mucho más fácil, I'm sore. Oh, man. Y tiene que acompañarlo el grunt. Right? Oh, man, I am sore. AF. I'm sore as fuck. De cojones. All right, I have sore muscles or I am sore. We also use that word when we talk about somebody who doesn't know how to lose with dignity. Oh, he's a sore loser. You say mal perdedor, right? Okay, tengo ardor de estómago. We looked at this one, I think, recently. Yeah, you can say I have indigestion. That's fine. It's not the most native way to say it. You can say I have acid reflux, que es como se llama la aflicción esta, right? But the most native way to say it, I have heartburn. Y acordaos, cuando decimos padecemos de algo, es I suffer from. Okay? Si queremos usar esto, que también lo usamos con el cuerpo. I suffer from heartburn, or I have heartburn. All right. Homer tiene tripa cervecera. Remember I said use real examples? Homer Simpson, right? Peter Griffin from Family Guy, padre de familia. Tiene tripa cervecera. Homer has a beer belly or a beer gut, right? You can say a beer belly. Para mí suena mejor el beer belly por el double alliteration, but they're both correct, right? Y de hecho, cuando hablamos de gut, hablamos también de nuestro instinto. Okay, so your gut is tu tripa, but also if I say trust your gut, it's your gut instinct that you have to follow. It means trust yourself. Trust that feeling you get in your stomach. And if we pluralize it, if I say, you don't have the guts, no tienes las agallas, vosotros lo traducís como huevos. Well, we do say that too. You don't have the balls. You don't have the guts. Mucho menos ofensivo. You don't have the guts. All right. What about estoy mareado? I'm dizzy. You can also say my head is spinning. Y si es mareo de estos de que tenemos náusea, I'm nauseous, right? Sometimes when we get dizzy, we get nauseous as well. And we feel like we have to throw up. Motion sickness, right? It happens on rides, boats. Y tenemos un nombre particular para cada uno. So you've got air sickness. You've got car sickness. Oh, man, I always get car sick. Me mareo en el coche. Okay? Y el del mar? To get seasick. We're very, very logical people in English. All right. Let's see. A couple more. Le huelen los sobacos a él. That's a sentence you never want to hear. His armpits stink. They reek. They smell bad. Right? So armpits, sobacos. Okay? Nosotros decimos los hoyos del brazo. A pit is a hole. So his armpits stink. All right, here's a tough one. This is for superstars only. Huele a humanidad aquí. The first thing that comes to mind is a locker room. Un vestuario, ¿no? Un cambiador de deportes. Where the lockers, nosotros lo llamamos a locker room. ¿Por qué? Pues hay taquillas. And taquillas are lockers. So a locker room. That smell, or that teenage smell, right? Right before they start using deodorant, and you're like, oh my God, it smells like teenager here. Or we call it BO. That's right, body odor, olor corporal. Oh my God, it's stuffy in here. Cargado, el ambiente. It smells like BO. Es tan común, desafortunadamente, que no hay que decir body odor. You can just say BO. Okay? Not to be confused with BS. You know what BS is? Bullshit. All right, let's see. Tengo un moratón en la rodilla. You know this one? Tengo un moratón en la rodilla. I have a bruise on my knee. O lo puedes usar como verbo. I bruised my knee. Hice moratón. To bruise, hacerse moratón. All right? So again, these are things I hope you never have to use, body odor, bruises, but they are part of life, right? In fact, one of my favorite one, I love you warts and all. Te quiero con las verrugas. How do you say wart? Wart is what a witch has. ¿Ves? Yo aprendo también aquí. Seguro que me suena. Verrugas. Oh, yeah. Te quiero con todas tus imperfecciones. I love you, warts and all. So as I said, it's not just good to know the parts of the body and these things that happen, all of these things that we have in common, but also it's good to know them because many of them are used in a figurative sense. I mean, we looked at 5 different idiomatic expressions that have to do with heart, and I didn't give you all of them because I don't know them by heart. I have to look them up, right? I know them by heart, but I mean, I don't, if I think about them, it's not how it works. Usually you use an expression when you need it, right? But just to give you an idea, without even planning it, I gave you 5 just with the word heart. All right, I see we've got a lot of answers here. Let's check what you guys put. I've got, that car costs an arm and a leg. Bueno, vosotros decís una parte del cuerpo ahí también. You say un ojo de la cara or un huevo. Que de hecho, cuando yo primeramente oí eso, pensaba que hablabais de un huevo de verdad, no un huevo pelota. So I didn't get it. I'm like, why are eggs that expensive? Right? It was a bit confusing. And then somebody said, Alberto, the other huevo. Because in English, we don't call them eggs. We call them balls or nuts. Man, she kicked me in the nuts. That's the, you hope you never have to say that, fellas. So it costs an arm and a leg. Well, either way, it's something you don't want to part with. Has anybody ever told you to break a leg? We've got break a leg. You say mucha mierda. This is the way of wishing somebody good luck without saying good luck, because for some people, good luck is bad luck, right? To see eye to eye, that means to agree. We see eye to eye on that, okay? A little bit different from keeping an eye on something. Esto lo usamos siempre. Can you keep an eye on my bag? I'm going to go to the bathroom a second. Vigilar. You can say watch, but it would be much more normal to say keep an eye on it, okay? Vigílalo, all right? I hope you don't get cold feet, though. To get cold feet means you're nervous or hesitant. Reacio, dudoso. I always think of weddings. You know, when somebody's about to tie the knot, casarse, you've heard stories where people get cold feet and they don't show up at the altar. No se presentan en el altar. And then they have to face the music. Que face es cara, pero face también es enfrentarse a algo. Right? Face the music. Enfrentarse a las consecuencias. Sooner or later, you'll have to, se pronuncia have to. You'll have to face the music. We already looked at to pull someone's leg, right? You're pulling my leg, you're pulling my chain. También se puede decir mi cadena. All right? To put your foot in it, or to put your foot in your mouth. Meter la pata. Nosotros metemos el pie. Same idea. What about this one? I see here in the comments, stick your neck out. Sometimes in life, you have to stick your neck out. Extender el cuello? Yeah. It means to take a risk, right? To not go for the safe bet, la apuesta fácil o segura. If you want to really, really make progress in your English or in anything professionally, you got to stick your neck out. This one I know you use. Over my dead body. Frase de padres, ¿eh? Siempre buscando el contexto ahí, right? De cuándo y cómo usamos cada cosa. Mom, I'm going to go out with my friends and I'm going to come home whenever I feel like it. Over my dead body. Eso queda claro, como primero tendrás que pasar por mi cadáver, right? Over my dead body. We've got a lot with hands too. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Dame un aplauso. But it's also, échame un cable, échame una mano, right? Keep your fingers crossed. You say the same thing. You say this one too, on the tip of your tongue. Oh, I can't remember it now, but it's on the tip of my tongue. All right? To be on the tip of your tongue. I know we've looked at this next one, to be head over heels. You know it from an 80s song. Something happens and I'm head over heels. Head over heels. Enamorado locamente. And then there are times in life when you have to put your foot down. Okay? And to put your foot down is to be firm. Ser firme. I'm going to have to put my foot down because they're taking advantage of me. Okay? A pain in the neck. A pain in the ass. A pain. A secas. Un coñazo. Un pesado. This guy's a pain. Going to the doctor first thing in the morning is a pain in the neck. A pain in the ass, or simplemente a pain. This next one I know you use too. This is the good thing. You guys, some of them we have in common. And this one, I'll give you the Spanish one. Suéltate el pelo. Hombres G, right? Suéltate el pelo. That's where I learned it in Spanish. Y luego me di cuenta, es exactamente igual. Let your hair down. Let your hair down. It means relax, enjoy yourself, right? I've told you guys this one many times. Keep your chin up. Chin up. O se puede decir directamente chin up. Chin, we heard in the audio. Chin is your barbilla. So if I say chin up, ánimo. No piénsalo. Levanta esa cabeza. Estás cabizbajo. Is that the word you say? Well, chin up. Keep your chin up, man. So es dando ánimo a alguien que, well, maybe they're in a difficult situation. And if you do that, well, then you've got a heart of gold, right? A heart of gold. That means you're a really good person. My daughter has a heart of gold. She's a kind person. She's very generous. What about this one? Put your money where your mouth is. I know we've looked at it. It means back up your words with action. Oh, yeah? Is that what you're going to do? Let's see. Vamos a ver si es verdad. Put your money where your mouth is. That means no solo me lo cuentes, enséñamelo. Right? Show me. Bite your tongue. Lo decís igual. Right? What? Now, it can be literally, ow, 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 I just bit my tongue. But it can also be, restrain yourself from saying what you want to say. Do you know how many times my mother told me to bite my tongue when I was a kid? Oh, God. Maybe that's why I don't do it now. But it's better to be all ears. You say the same thing. ¿Ves que no somos tan diferentes, right? My daughter asked me this one the other day because I told her the joke. I said, a horse walked into the bar and the bartender said, why the long face? You get it? All right. Well, a horse has a long face. I had to explain it to my daughter too. She didn't get it. But once you explain it, it's like our joking section. Then you get it. To have a long face means you're sad. So the horse walked into the bar and the bartender said, why the long face? Why the long face? All right. Let's see. To be in over your head. Te has comprometido demasiado. Right? Estás abrumado con... You're in, piénsalo, estás ahogándote. You're in of the water or whatever problem over your head, right? Means you're deep. You're deep in it now. I love this one. My mom, I'm thinking of a lot of ones today. A shout out to my parents. Keep your nose clean. What does that mean? Límpiate la nariz? No. No te metas en líos. Okay? No hagas cosas tontas. Keep your nose, don't get in trouble. Keep your nose clean, right? Another one parents say, you've got to have eyes in the back of your head. I think my aunt said, mil ojos son pocos, something like that. Well, that means pay attention to everything that's happening around you. Okay? To play it by ear. I know we've looked at this one. We use this a lot. To improvise. Decidir sobre la marcha. Well, you know what? We were thinking about celebrating the birthday party at the park, but you know what? Since we don't know what the weather's going to be like, we're going to play it by ear. We use this all the time in business. It's a little bit different than being wet behind the ears. You know this one? If you're wet behind the ears, think of a baby. Cuando nace, estás mojado, right? Hasta detrás. If you're wet behind the ears, you don't have experience, right? You're inexperienced. You have a chip on your shoulder. Esto lo he oído mucho de pequeño, pero ya no. But I was an angry young teenager. I had a problem with the world. Well, you know what we call this? To have a chip on your shoulder. Man, you're not going to get anywhere in life with a chip on your shoulder. And that means you're resentful. It means you hold a grudge. Que guardas rencor, right? So it's not a good idea. But when I was a kid, I guess like a normal teenage male, you know, my hormones, testosterone flying everywhere. Well, I had a chip on my shoulder, a problem with the whole world. Everybody owed me something, right? And the next one, and the last one we'll take a look at, this is from an AC/DC song. To have a stiff upper lip. To have a stiff. Now, stiff is rígido. This means you remain stoic during a problem. You keep that poker face. You don't show people that you're struggling, right? I know it's a difficult situation, but we have to keep a stiff upper lip right now. Poner buena cara, right? No demostrar que estamos así. To keep a stiff upper lip. So we just saw tons of them. Excellent job to all of you who participated. So, as I said, it's not just about knowing these words for the body parts, but knowing all the idiomatic expressions that come from them as well. And we just looked at the tip of the iceberg. There's another expression that you say exactly the same. The tip of the iceberg. La punta del iceberg. All right, well, folks, I can't believe it. We have got to go to a quick commercial break. We are halfway through the show, but keep your chin up. We're going to look at a lot more up ahead. When we come back, I'll give you today's homophones. Plus, we'll listen to our Say What soundbite again. And what else? Homophone, Say What soundbite. We've got our spelling bee. We've also got, what do we got today? Life hacks? No, we've got world records today as well. Wacky world records. So we have got tons and tons of stuff to cover in the second half of the show. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of today's show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. We have got a lot of stuff to do, and we've looked at a lot of loads, para usar una expresión que hemos usado hace poco. We've looked at loads of idiomatic expressions in today's show, as well as very useful vocabulary. Sore muscles, BO, body odor, BS, bullshit. Hey guys, this is totally native English, and that is my pledge. A pledge is another way of saying a promise. My pledge to you to bring you the real stuff, not that textbook English. That's not how we speak. And you can find all that English in all 5 of my books. English Everywhere. This book is the milk. This book is the milk too. This book is the shit. English on the go. Aprende inglés viajando por el mundo. All of them have that element of fun. Well, if I'm going to write a book, I don't want it to be boring. I don't want to get bored writing it. So, as you know, there's always a little bit of creativity sprinkled in there. I believe that. Some of the best teachers I know are the most creative people I know, thinking of new ways to reach their students. Teachers such as Kyle Miller, Chris Frank, Dave Boyes, Ruby, Jules Linares, and all the amazing team here on Vaughn Radio. All right, folks, it is time for today's Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. There's homophones time, there's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show it no, show it no, show it no name.
All right, my amigos, it is time for your homophones here on the show with no name. Let's see what we've got. Now, my daughter knows this word. She knows it. Again, I always think to myself, does Lara know this? Naturally, because I teach you 2 hours a day. The rest of the day, I'm teaching her. So, it is a work in progress over there. All right, this word is fuera, largo, fuera, right? If you're telling somebody to get away, I think of it too with flies or with a dog or a cat. Get fuera de aquí, lárgate de aquí, okay? And it's also the verb, ahuyentar o espantar, okay? To chase somebody or drive somebody away. Get out of here. Get lost, right? Well, that's another way of saying get lost, all right? And as I said, it's also the verb ahuyentar. That's a difficult word for me to say. Espantar, echar. Come on. All right? That's the first word. The second word is zapato. That's right. I know you know that word. I think everybody knows that word. It's a pretty common word. One of those words you learn with cat, dog, nose, those basic words that I think, are for a basic level. So, what do you think? The first word, get out of here, get lost. También es el verbo. And the second one is zapato. Okay? Zapato. There you go. Those are your 2 words. What are they? And do they sound exactly the same or not? Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite. Here it is for the 3rd time. And I'm sure it's very easy to realize that this person sounds nothing like I do.
It's mixed emotions, and at the moment, relief that I got through the show is the biggest thing I feel. And such, I suppose I ought to feel humble, but it isn't humble. Surprised and pleased that people were so generous.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town,
Lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town.
If you want more information about Vaughn Town, our masters, any of our new centers that we've opened up, or anything, you just want to find out about all the different things we offer, please feel free to contact us. You can reach out on our social media pages. Also, you can stop by in person. There's nothing like a face-to-face conversation. And if you're in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, we'd love to meet you. Well, we'd love to meet you even if you don't live in one of those cities, but we understand it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get into one of those. So that's why we've got the website. You can go to grupovon.com if you're looking for courses. We always have special deals. You can also go to vaughntienda.com if what you're looking for is materials. And if you follow us on social media, you'll get a little bit of everything there. You'll get some content. You'll find out about our materials. You'll find out about our courses, upcoming events, open houses. An open house, you say puertas abiertas? Yeah, you say puertas abiertas. We say an open house. So, my amigos, don't hesitate. No dudes. Don't hesitate to reach out. Toma frase super nativa. No dudes en contactar. Don't hesitate to reach out. All right, I see we've got a lot of people participating in our homophone section. And as I look through the comments, I see that all of you agree. Wow, this doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it's unanimous, but not all the time. So you're telling me, lárgate, fuera de aquí, is the same as zapato. It's pronounced exactly the same. All right, well, let's say both words. Okay. De hecho, te voy a decir, voy a ahuyentarte, espantarte con mi zapato. I'm going to shoo you with my shoe. Do they sound the same? I'll say it again. I'm going to shoo you with my shoe. Absolutely. Awesome job. You guys are on fire today with all your idiomatic expressions and also knocking it out of the park. That's right. Now, the first word is spelled S-H-O-O. That's right, S-H-O-O. Ahora, sé que sabéis cómo se escribe zapato, es S-H-O-E, but they're pronounced exactly the same. In fact, before I saw the word shoe written, I thought it was the same spelling as zapato. De hecho, mi abuela, right? My grandma used to shoe us with her shoe. El apagate, right? I remember, oh man, you don't want, the moment grandma takes off her shoe, you better shoe. It's a good way to remember it. Now, it also reminds me of another word, and that is a shoe-in. Now, this is a hyphenated word. Okay, so this word is S-H-O-O dash or hyphen I-N. And a shoe-in es un ganador seguro. Okay? So let me give it to you in context. The other candidates are so awful. Terrible. Samantha is a shoe-in. Ella es la ganadora clara, right? Ganadora segura. A shoe-in. And it's interesting because no tiene nada que ver con espantar en ese caso. But that's always going to be accompanied by in and the dash. So do you think he's going to win? Yeah, man. He's a shoe-in. O sea, es el ganador. And also it means pan comido, right? This race is a shoe-in. And that means it's extremely easy. It's an easy-to-win contest. All right? So we got several different words from today's homophones. Guys, extremely great job. All right, but we have got to move on because we've got a lot of stuff to do. So right now it is time for Wacky World Records.
Wacky World Records. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world.
That's right, folks. All right, Wacky World Records. Let's see what we've got for today's Wacky World Records. Now, do we have any gamers here? Anybody who loves video games? Oh, yeah. Not me. Well, I gotta say, I used to have the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, but I've never been a big gamer. I'm too restless. Yeah, I've got ants in my pants. Soy inquieto. I'm antsy. I'm restless. Dos formas de decir eso. Well, today's world record is a guy named Ibrahim Al Nasser, a guy from Saudi Arabia. So he's Saudi Arabian. And, well, this guy has the record for the most gaming consoles connected to a single TV. Now, I know I've been to my nephew's house, and I'm thinking, I mean, you need a degree. Necesitas un titulado para saber conectar todo eso. To connect or to hook it up, right? Otra forma de decir conectar algo is to hook it up. And a lot of times, in fact, when I have, you know, I got to hook up the HDMI cable with this, with the Google, I call my nephew and I say, can you come set everything up for me? Hook it up. So set up, montar, to hook up, conectar. To hook up is also ligar. Piénsalo, estás haciendo una conexión. Makes sense, right? And he doesn't even look it up, ni lo consulta. I mean, he's just like, okay, esto por aquí. Okay, good. Pruebo aquí, auxiliar dos. I'm useless at that shit. Yeah, really. Maybe that's why I don't like video games, because the whole challenge for me was getting the damn thing hooked up, you know? Also, as I said, it's hard. I've never been a couch potato. Uno que juega sillón bol. Yeah, I can sit for an hour if something's interesting, but don't ask me for more than that. So, most gaming consoles connected to a single TV. And this guy needed to use, are you ready for this? More than 30 RCA switchers. Okay. RCA is kind of cable. Okay. RCA, do you say the same thing there? Maybe you use some other one. And a switcher is interruptor, right? It's a device that turns things on and off. It switches things on and off. Es bastante lógico si lo pensamos así. So this guy has more than 30 RCA switchers. Remember, it's the same TV. It's not like he has 20 screens, which is also very popular these days. But no, this guy, his record comes from one TV and everything connected to the same source, the same TV. So 30 RCA switchers, more than 12 HDMI switchers, HDMI, you say the same thing. And let's see how many video game consoles you think he can hook up with those connectors, with those switchers. Take a guess. How many video game consoles do you think this guy has hooked up to the same TV? Did you say 100? No. 200? No. 444 game consoles hooked up to the same TV. Now, this was mind-blowing for me because I know very little about gaming and consoles, but I had no idea there were 444 different video game consoles, but I guess they are if Guinness has certified this record. So imagine that. You come home and you're like, what do I want to play? PlayStation 2, Sega Genesis, Nintendo Entertainment System, Atari. I mean, he must have ones that are even right now obsolete, right? That if you need parts for them, piezas, good luck, right? Because they're video game consoles from the 1980s when it first became a thing. So imagine that. Now, I want you to just picture it. Close your eyes 1 second. You've got one TV and you've got 444 video game consoles. And I'm just trying to imagine the size of his living room, su salon. It must be huge, right? Because if you have 5 video game consoles, you're already taking up, ocupando, you're already taking up a lot of space. But this guy connected 444. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, how does he keep track? ¿Cómo mantiene la cuenta? Which one's HDMI 2? Which one is external source? How does he do it? Easy. A spreadsheet. Yeah, that's right. A spreadsheet. You know what that is? A spreadsheet is un Excel, right? We say Excel, an Excel document, pero si no queremos usar la marca, we call it a spreadsheet. But since we're talking about that brand, to excel is a great word. You guys, show with no namers, you excel, sobresalir, right? To excel. Think about the word excellent. If you are excellent, you excel. So brillar, distinguirse, sobresalir. Pero cuidado que no se pronuncia como en español. Excel, right? It's excel. O sea, el énfasis va al final de la palabra, no al principio, right? Well, like we looked at the other day. Email, right? In Spanish, in English, it's on the first part, email. In Spanish, email on the second part. Same thing happens here. You say, mándame un Excel. We say, send me an Excel. And the verb is to excel. El verbo, fíjate, es interesante. El verbo no hay ningún énfasis. Excel, right? He has always excelled. Okay? So if you didn't know the word, you do know it now, and it's easy to assimilate it because you all know the word excellent, right? Even if you didn't know the word, no es como en español, excelente. So to excel, destacar, sobresalir, brillar. Great word. But again, if you don't want to use the brand name, no, la marca, well, then you can always say a spreadsheet. Okay. So he said that he uses a spreadsheet to keep track of which switch boxes and converters, he needs to use to play each console. I imagine in some cases that's more fun than the actual game itself. So I off the top of my head, usando la misma expresión de antes, I can't even think of 40 game consoles. But I guess this guy, he had 444. Now, also, I'm thinking of not just the size of his living room, but I'm also thinking of the amount of money this guy has spent. Because it's not, you don't just need the console, you need the remotes, los mandos, you need the space to store them, the cables. You know, each of those cables can cost you 15 euros. If you get good cables, they can cost you even more. I know it with microphones. You can buy a 10 euro microphone cable, or you can buy a 100 euro microphone cable. It's all about the quality of the connection, right? And they're made with different metals and things like this. So I can't even begin to imagine the size of this guy's living room and his budget, the amount of money he spent. But this guy, Ibrahim Al Nasser, has today's wacky world record. All right, amigos, it's time to move on to another section, perhaps one of the most challenging sections we encounter every day on this show. It's your spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, welcome to our spelling bee, amigos. Hey, you know what time it is? We're going to church. Take me to church. I worship like a dog at the side of your life. I give you my sins so you can sharpen your knife. I forget the lyrics, but great word, a great song. Take me to church. So obviously it has something to do with church today or something. All right. Well, as always, I'm going to give you this list of words. I'm going to spell them for you. The first time, I'm going to go full speed ahead. A todo gas, as I always do. Full speed or full steam ahead. And the second time, I will slow down. Here's round one. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word. And let's hope we don't get censored by YouTube. Well, you know, they don't like religious stuff. They seem to just like the other end of the spectrum. Hey, it's not just my opinion. And I'm not even religious. It's just an obvious observation. If something's Christian or religious, it won't be promoted, right? Again, I'm saying that unbiased. I don't even consider myself a religious person. But for some reason, the communist kind of propaganda, that stuff is always right there at the top of the algorithm. Call me crazy. Here we go, my amigos. The first one is POPE space JOHN space PAUL space Roman numeral 2. The second one is FIRST space PONTIFF. The third one, WHITE space HOUSE. The fourth one, JIMMY space CARTER. The fifth one, KAROL space JOZEF space WOJTYLA. And the last one is WADOWICE, comma, space POLAND. All right, so wait a second. We've got something to do with a church, a helicopter. Well, you know me, I like to set the scene, no? Poner la escena. Get you into it. All right, let's see if anybody got those on the first go. We don't have too much time, so I'm going to give you about 20 seconds, and then we're going to hit round two over here. And these words are tough today because some of these words are not English. I noticed that too, even myself. You know, when a word is English, well, then process of elimination. Pues tiene que ser ation al final, no? Por la palabra que es. But when the words come from another language, process of elimination goes out the window. All right, going once, going twice. Here's round two. The first one is rewind. POPE space JOHN space PAUL space Roman numeral 2. The next one is FIRST space PONTIFF. The third one, WHITE space HOUSE. The fourth one, JIMMY space CARTER. The fifth one, KAROL space JOZEF space WOJTYLA. And the last one is WADOWICE, comma, space POLAND. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I see we've got a lot of people getting it on the second go. Awesome job, Show with No Namers. We'll check your answers and so much more after this quick commercial break. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with No Name. Thank you so much for joining us and for all your participation. You guys rock. Sois la leche. Awesome job. I see we've got a couple students too who got the Say What soundbite and the spelling bee. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up es un aplauso. To give up es darse por vencido, pero give it up, no, es un aplauso. So give it up for our show with no namers who are on a roll. Otra forma de decir on fire. In this part of the show, we're going to take a look at our double trouble. We'll hear our Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time. We'll check your spelling bee answers. Plus, we've got movies, famous birthdays, name that lyric, and so much more. And then right after today's show, stay tuned, and you can learn to speak with confidence with Ale. So many amazing shows here on Vaughn Radio. So keep it locked here. No cambies de canal. Keep it locked here on Vaughn Radio. Take us with you everywhere. We love to come with you. Yeah. We fit in your pocket, right? If we're in your phone, we fit in your pocket. Sure. All right. Well, my amigos, we're going to kick off the fourth part of the show with today's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, folks. It is double trouble here on the show with no name, and this is going to be a tough one today. Why? Because in both cases, they're collocations. They're idiomatic expressions that you either know or you don't know. You will know them by the end of the section. I can guarantee that. But let's see if you know them without my help. And feel free, guys. Hey, Google away. O sea, googlea a tope, lo que quieras. That's part of the process of being a student is discovery, right? Curiosity, searching. Oh, ¿y esto qué es? Y lo otro. As I told you last week, I use word reference hundreds of times in one day, and not just when I'm working on the scripts, los guiones del programa. All right. Cuando las cosas se ponen difíciles, or chungas. I love that word in Spanish. Chunga. Sounds like a kind of dance, right? Cuando las cosas se ponen difíciles o chungas, o en el momento de la verdad también puede ser, él siempre tenta la suerte. Yeah, tentar la suerte. How do we say that in English? All right. So, cuando las cosas se ponen difíciles o en el momento de la verdad, él siempre tenta la suerte. All right. That's your double trouble. As always, you have to use the same word twice, and we'll take a look at your answers in just a moment. Let me give you the Say What soundbite. Here it is for the fourth and final time.
It's mixed emotions, and at the moment, relief that I got through the show is the biggest thing I feel. And such, I suppose I ought to feel humble, but it isn't humble. Surprised and pleased that people were so generous.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Yes, the Oxford Test of English. You can get it done at any of our Vaughan centres. So make sure you check it out if you are in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. My favorite is how the British say Ibiza. Yeah, Ibiza. Doesn't even sound like the same word. Ibiza. And Tenerife, mate. Lanzarote. Have you ever heard British people pronounce the Spanish places? It's funny. My daughter, well, we've been to Tenerife. In fact, Americans, we would say Tenerife, right? But that's the English pronunciation of it. But we all know it's Tenerife. Well, the day you guys start saying Arkansas instead of Arkansas, then we can talk. Well, it's tough. It's tough to pronounce places. Arkansas. Yeah, como que saw? A sass. No, not in English. So I love it. My daughter and I always, I love Tenerife and Ibiza, and I love Lanzarote. Again, we're laughing, but how important is imitation when learning a language? Imitate everybody you hear. That's how you get better at this. You know, what do you think I'm doing when I speak Spanish, folks? I'm trying to imitate you. And let's see now. I see we've got several people participating in our double trouble. Let's take a look. All right. Cuando las cosas se ponen difíciles. When the going gets tough. Sí, eso nos vale. We know the song. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's a great song and it's a great philosophy. Que es cuando las cosas se ponen duras, chungas, los duros se activan, right? Eso es el momento que yo estaba esperando, right? They're not comfortable when everything's A-okay, when everything's hunky-dory, as we say. Oh, rositas, right? So, but another way to say that is when push comes to shove. Cuando el empujón llega a otro empujón. Okay, so when push comes to shove, lo traducen, cuando las cosas se ponen difíciles, feas, a la hora de la verdad. Okay? So when push comes to shove, okay, shove is just another way of saying to push somebody. Okay, it reminds me of a hop, skip, and a jump. Right? Son tres formas de decir saltar. Y si quieres decir que algo está al lado, oh, the Vaughan office, it's a hop, skip, and a jump from here. Está al ladito. Well, this is another one where we use two synonyms. When push comes to shove, cuando el empujón llega a otro empujón, he always pushes his luck. You can also say to press your luck. You have two options here. We don't say to tempt your luck. I like it. Es la misma idea, right? You're tempting fate, right? But really, to push your luck. Otra frase de padre, right? Alberto, Mom, can we go get some ice cream too? Don't push your luck. Don't press your luck, young man. And that means no tentes la suerte. So when push comes to shove, he always pushes his luck. Excellent job. Guys, what did you have for breakfast today? Not only are so many people participating, but you guys are spot on with your answers. So keep it up. Also in our spelling bee too. And obviously today's spelling bee had something to do with churches and helicopters. Well, folks, there's a reason for it. It's because today in 1979, Pope John Paul II, el Papa Juan Pablo II. I remember he was the Pope when I was born, or at least since I can remember, right? In fact, I never knew. Well, I remember when they got the new Pope, I'm like, but there's a new Pope? I thought it was just one guy. Sure, if you live forever. Well, maybe everlasting life. Isn't that part of religion? Whoa, not for the Pope, for God. So Pope John Paul II became the first pontiff. You know the word pontiff? Yo creo que se dice igual en español. Déjame buscarlo. Pontiff. ¿Ves? Otra vez con el word reference. Pontífice. Ah, okay, so it's a word that you can figure out. Well, in English, it's pontiff, Pontiff, which that was our second word. So the first word, Pope John Paul II. Number 2, first pontiff. Number 3, White House. That's right. He was the first pontiff to visit the White House. The president at that time was Jimmy Carter. That was number 4, Jimmy Carter. Number 5, Karol Joseph Wojtyła. Again, I don't know how to pronounce in Polish, but that's my best effort there. That's his real name. So John Paul is not his real name. I didn't know that. See, I'm learning things over here. His real name was Karol Joseph Wojtyła. Again, something like that. And number 6, Wadowis. I don't even know how to pronounce that either. It's a Polish word. You'll have to forgive me. And I know less Polish than I would like to. I've actually, Poland is a country that I've got high on my list to visit. Yeah, I'm very interested in Poland. Such a rich history, but I don't know a lick of Polish. Oh, no, I'm lying. Dziękuję. Dziękuję means thank you, I believe. Dziękuję. Dziękuję. Yeah. So Wadowis, you can correct me if we have any Polish listeners. Poland, and that's where he was born. And while we're on the topic of Poland, he was Polish. But just be careful with that word because it has another pronunciation. To polish something is limarlo, right? Darle brillo, to polish something. Se escribe igual, pero no se pronuncia igual. So let's say this sentence. He wanted to polish the Polish furniture. He wanted to polish the Polish furniture. También usamos la palabra polish para pinta uñas. You have nail polish on your fingernails. You have nail polish. So yes, today in the year 1979, Pope John Paul II became the first pontiff to ever visit the White House. Yeah, the Santiago Bernabéu. La Casa Blanca. No. I mean the real White House, the one in Washington, D.C. Excellent job in our spelling bee, amigos. But now it's time to move on to a section I know you love because this is where we get real idiomatic expressions from the flicks that we love. It's Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, my amigos. This is today's Name That Movie, and this is an awesome movie. I love this movie. It came out in 2018, and it stars, I can give you the cast, Bruce Willis, or as they say in Almeria, Bru Willy. Yeah, that's funny. Bruce Willis, Vincent D'Onofrio, vaya actorazo, and Elizabeth Shue. Elizabeth, fuera de aquí. No. Elizabeth Zapato, no. Aunque suena igual, pero su nombre se pronuncia igual, pero se escribe S-H-U-E. Cuando ya hemos visto que espantar es S-H-O-O y zapato S-H-O-E. Otra vez, los tres se pronuncian exactamente igual. El apellido de esta actriz y también espantar, fuera de aquí y zapato. All right, so Dr. Paul Kersey is an experienced trauma surgeon, a man who has spent his life saving lives. After an attack on his family, Paul embarks on his own mission for justice. Wow. Sounds like a vigilante. You say vigilante. We say vigilante. And a vigilante is somebody who takes the law into their own hands. They're not going to wait for somebody to come and save them. Okay? So Dr. Paul Kersey is an experienced trauma surgeon. Trauma, you say traumatólogo. So a traumatologist or trauma surgeon, cirujano, a man who has spent his life saving lives. Se ha pasado la vida salvando vidas. After an attack on his family, después de un atentado ataque a su familia, Paul embarks, ¿te suena? Embarcar, empezar. Paul embarks on his own mission for justice. All right, let's take a look over here at the scene that I've chosen for you. Frank says, so what do you think this was? It was a robbery gone bad? Entonces, ¿qué crees que era esto? ¿Fue un robo que no salió bien? Right? A robbery gone bad? And the detective says, well, there have been a string of break-ins. Now, a string is muchos, right? A string, piénsalo, lo conectas con una cuerda. We've had a string of break-ins, o sea, robos. Hemos tenido unas cuantas. A string of break-ins along the North Shore. The North Shore, I believe, is it Hawaii? Well, I know Hawaii has a North Shore and Chicago. So the North Shore, it's an area. So we're looking at the possibility. Estamos mirando la posibilidad. And then Frank says, you said string. How many in this string? O sea, let's get more specific here. A string means several. And the detective says, 6 in the last 9 months. 6 en los últimos 9 meses. And Frank says, 6? 6 robberies? And he looks at Paul and says, did you know about this? And Paul says, no, I didn't know about it. No sabía nada acerca de esto. And Frank says, what? You don't think it's important enough to tell the residents? ¿Qué? ¿No crees que es lo suficientemente importante para decirlo a los residentes? You don't think it's important enough to tell the residents? And the detective says, we post all the crimes on the neighborhood watch. Now, the neighborhood watch no es, me gusta como suena, pero no. The neighborhood watch no es el reloj del pueblo, del barrio, pero me gusta. Neighborhood watch is vigilancia vecinal, policía vecinal. ¿No? When your neighbors, there's something that happens and everybody's keeping an eye on, suspicious behavior and all that in communities. It's very common in the United States. We call it neighborhood watch, vigilancia del barrio. And a lot of times it's done by the residents, by the citizens. So we post all the crimes on the neighborhood watch, el foro, vamos a decir de eso. He says, if it's big enough, the media picks it up. Lo coge. Los medios lo cogen. And they report about it. And if not, these are just burglaries. Se queda en un burglary. And a burglary is, a ver cómo lo traducen, a burglary es un robo. Okay, stealing from a home. All right, breaking and entering. Right? A break-in. I remember in my neighborhood when I was a kid, we had a string of break-ins. And I remember I stayed home from school because I was sick. I had pneumonia, pulmonía. I'll never forget it. And I remember the phone ringing and it was the neighbor and she sounded quite distraught. And she said, can I talk to your mother, please? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I hear my mom. Of course, I was eavesdropping. I was listening in on the conversation. And she said, someone broke into our house. Some burglars broke into our house today. And I was like, oh, shit. I was here. I was right across the street. I didn't see anything, but they could have broken into my house. And I was there. So it basically scared the shit out of me. All right, the movie is Death Wish. Awesome job. And we can learn from the title of the movie, too. If you have a death wish, it means you don't value your life. Okay? Deseos suicidas, tendencias suicidas. Un impulso que no, you don't seem like you care very much about the value of your life. This guy's nuts. Conducta temeraria, it says. Man, why do you drink and drive? Do you have a death wish? So there we go. We don't only learn from the dialogue, but we can also learn from the movie titles. All right, it's time for famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
All right, my amigos. Number one, I just said her name moments ago. She was in the movie Death Wish. She was also in the movie Cocktail, The Karate Kid. Oh, I had a crush on her in The Karate Kid. Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3, Leaving Las Vegas, Hollow Man, Battle of the Sexes, and so much more. Definitely an actress who has made some of the greatest movies out there. And her last name sounds like Espantar and Zapato. All right, easy one. Number two, this guy was born in 1951. This American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer was the lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist for the band REO Speedwagon. You might know some of their songs. And I'm just gonna keep on loving you, 'cause it's the only thing I wanna do. Beautiful songs. It's rock, but they've got ballads. They really mix the two nicely. And I can't fight this feeling anymore. Beautiful songs. If you've never heard REO Speedwagon, awesome stuff. And last but not least, this English journalist was born today in 1939. And in fact, I listened to him on a podcast I highly recommend called In Our Time. It's called In Our Time, although he just recently retired, but you can still hear his voice on all the other episodes. Very interesting. It talks about history, social events, and it's produced by the BBC. This guy, man, what a voice. All right, number one, Elizabeth Shue. She was a shoo-in. Ganadora clara. Number two, Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon. And last but not least, Melvin Bragg. I could listen to his voice for hours. And we're going to listen to it right now in our Say What soundbite. This is Melvin Bragg talking about his retirement from In Our Time. Okay, the podcast I just recommended. And he says, it's mixed emotions. Son emociones mezcladas, un poco de todo. And at the moment, relief, alivio, that I got through the show, que sobreviví el programa. It's the biggest thing I feel. Es lo más fuerte que noto, que siento. Such, I suppose, I ought to feel humble. Debería sentirme humilde. But it isn't humble. No es humilde. It's surprised and pleased, complacido, contento that people are so generous. So this is Melvin Bragg saying his farewell to all his listeners, me being one of them.
It's mixed emotions, and at the moment, relief that I got through the show is the biggest thing I feel. And such, I suppose I ought to feel humble, but it isn't humble. Surprised and pleased that people were so generous.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric, only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name the lyric, only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name the lyric, only on the show with no name.
Great job, Show with No Namers. And I'm going to dedicate this song to you today because the message, the title says it all. Keep pushing. Keep pushing means don't stop. It means don't quit. It means don't give up. Keep pushing. Sigue empujando. Sigue dándolo. No te des por vencido. Sigue por ese camino. And we looked at the word push before. when push comes to shove, to push your luck. Well, here's another usage of push. So I'm going to tell you guys, I know I don't have to tell you, but it's always good to be reminded to keep pushing. Excellent job today. If you'd like to look at the lyrics, it's REO Speedwagon. And as I said, the song is called Keep Pushing. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise. Ciao for now. Woo!